As you can see here, Master Lindy, I have, of course, purchased this new home in the moors. Very windy.
Oh.
Very cold.
It's very, what's the word for windy?
But I must show you this very peculiar thing. Look over here. Look for me. Look at this window.
Oh.
Do you see someone wrote this by hand in the windowsill, in the dust.
Wow.
I have to read this to you. So it reads, out on the willy mindy moors, we'd roll and fall in green. You had a temper like my jealousy, too hot, too greedy. How could you leave me? When I needed to possess you, I hated you, I love you too. Let me finish. Bad dreams in the night, they told me I was going to lose the fight, leaving behind my wuthering heights. Heathcliff, it's me, I'm Kathy, I've come home, I'm so cold, let me in your window. Let me finish. Heathcliff, it's me, I'm Kathy, I've come home, I'm so cold, let me in your window.
It really is just
let me finish.
All these words are there.
It's a very tightly written dust. Oh, it gets dark, it gets lonely. On the other side from you, I pine a lot. I find the lots falls through without you. I'm coming back, love. Cruel Heathcliff, my one dream, my one master. Let me finish. Too long I roam in the night. I've come back to the side to put it right. I'm coming home to wuthering heights. Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I've come home. All of this is written. I'm so cold. Let me in your window. Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I've come home. I'm so cold. Let me in your window. Oh, let me have it. Let me grab your soul away. Oh, let me have it. Let me grab your soul away. You know, it's me, Kathy. Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I've come home. I'm so cold. Let me in at your window. Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I'm home. I'm so cold. Let me in your window. Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I've come home. I'm so cold. This is the episode of Nothing New, a remake podcast. Hello, I am Justin Keyson.
I'm Andrew Lindy.
And that was my interpretation of Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights. And spoken word.
Really great that song exists for us because it really fits what we're talking about here. Huh?
I really was wondering, how am I going to do this? How I was going to put this, and I decided, I'm going to dedicate reading the entire lyrics of Kate Bush's song.
Wow. So, of course, we're talking about
Wuthering
Heights. Yes. And specifically, Wuthering Heights from 1939.
And quote, Wuthering Heights, quote, 2026.
And we couldn't do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
We had to bring back a favorite guest of ours from a favorite episode of mine. Mm-hmm. From our Little Women episode.
Yep.
We've got Zoe.
Yay!
Hey, guys.
Welcome back. Please let us help you out of the carriage.
Thank you so much for inviting me back. That Little Women was a big one, and I'm so excited. I have people to talk about this Wuthering Heights movies with.
Zoe, but where does your journey with Wuthering Heights begin? Were you a book fan before the films, or how does that go?
No, I wasn't. So I didn't read Wuthering Heights until I was in college. I took a British literature class, but the first time I've heard about the book was, this is so ridiculous. In Twilight, Wuthering Heights is Bella's favorite book.
No.
Yes.
Shit.
So that was a big thing for Twilight girls in the early 2000s because that was Bella's favorite book. And when Edward abandoned her for 3 months or whatever, she read Wuthering Heights over and over. And they even had a Twilight edition book. And on the front, it had a permit sticker that said, Bella's favorite book. And
whoa.
Yeah, that was probably why I didn't read the book until college. Until I had to, because I was like, oh, this is a little, maybe this is not what I want to read.
That is both surprising and immediately not surprising to hear that in story, this is Bella's favorite book. Shocking.
Right, it doesn't, it doesn't really fit it, but at the same time, okay, fine.
Yeah, that answers actually some questions.
What if Heathcliff was a vampire? Anyway.
That's what Stephanie Myers thought.
Yeah. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, because I don't really have like a deep relationship with the film or the book with any of the films.
No,
Definitely,
me neither.
yeah. It's uh, my wife loves the 1939 movie, so I've seen that before,
Okay.
and that's pretty much as far as my knowledge went. So this was an interesting journey for me. Justin, how about you?
I have told this to so many people before we were going to do this episode, but I very much was like, oh, Wuthering Heights is one of those things where I genuinely know zero things about it.
Wow.
I never read the book in high school. I never seen any of the films. I just knew there were many interpretations, and I knew of the title. I knew nothing about the story. It is actually one of those rare cases of like classic English literature or popular English literature that I was like, oh. I have no idea what it is. And so I kind of didn't know what the story was. Even when I saw the trailer for the 2026 film, I'm like, I still don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I have an idea, but I have nothing. So watching the movies, and then we had about a week since I saw the movies until like today's episode. I went from knowing jack crap about Wuthering Heights to me reading the entire lyrics of Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights song in the opening of this episode, and everything in between.
I feel like that is a really good journey for you. It feels like a very authentic, because I read the book in college, didn't read it since, saw the movie when I saw the 2026 movie when it came out last Friday the 13th, and which is also very appropriate.
Yeah, fair.
Day for this release.
Fair.
And immediately read the book again. I tried to read it back when the trailer dropped last year, and I just couldn't. It wasn't picking up for me. I wasn't interested. And but immediately was like, okay, I have to read this book. I have to watch the 1939 movie. And I really stopped it there. I wanted to watch there's the Tom Hardy one. There's the other one with Juliette Binoche and Ralph, that I wanted to watch that one. I'm like, you know what? Let me wait until this episode, because I'm going to get everything mixed up. There's so many versions I'm not going to remember.
That's true. There are so many adaptations of the story.
I find that so almost like shocking, because I feel like it's not as well known as other, like, even, I mean, this is from Emily Bronte, who did the book, and her sisters have much more adapted work,
right?
Like, and then like Sense and Sensibility and all that. Like, there's so many other little stories like this that have more fame and people's personal attachment to, and I feel like Wuthering Heights doesn't get brought up as much as those, but it has so many adaptations.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why, like, it's funny when one also is it's February when we're recording this, so it's like, it's also one of the few times and I'll debate the concept of using this word concerning the story, a romance movie that comes out in Valentine's Day month, that like it made sense to do, but also me realizing, oh my gosh, there's so many interpretations of the story that like it is sort of funny that you're right, Andrew, that like it's known, but it's not as known as some other ones, and yet it is clearly, and I will get to this when we get to the 2026 version, as I'm noticing, it is highly opinionated by a very large group of folks. So the fact that I don't know the story very well, even by osmosis, but yet it is so well known and so, like has a very interested fan base, that I was like, wild. I don't, that's very curious to me. And then now that I will say a little bit of spoiler, I will say, oh, I sort of get why. A little bit. Let's get into it though.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting that there's not not a generation defining adaptation of this book. So that probably wasn't why it wasn't in everybody's minds already, or why there's so many adaptations.
Actually, a very good point.
I think, yeah, and to compare it to Little Women, as we talked about in that episode, like that was what we covered there, was like genre or generational defining versions.
Yeah.
Right.
And so with this, it's kind of interesting that they kind of don't catch on. They don't. Yeah, they don't become indelible like versions. I feel like the 39 is the one that stands out, just because It's kind of the first.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, it's the one I hear. It's the one that's referred to the most.
Mhm.
I've learned in terms of discussing this movie. The story is that like most folks I know, at least if they're fans of the story, and even if they read the book or haven't, they will refer to this one first, the 1939 movie, even before any other adaptation. Especially in the context of the 2026 film, like a lot of people are mostly talking about this version. And this version, I want to point out, is very interesting in the factor that it's like an hour, like 103 minutes. So it's a relatively
Yes.
short movie in comparisons to some of the other adaptations.
Yes. Yeah. Over 2 hours, most of them.
Most of them over 2 hours. So I would almost say that this is like, I wouldn't say condensed is the right word, but very, I wouldn't say specific. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it's like something that's very concise.
Well, and then I think
Yeah.
talking about the conciseness, so Zoe, you could speak to this definitely since you just read the book. Pretty much, I don't think any adaptation has covered the second half of the book. There's like a whole section of the book that is just never in an adaptation.
Right. Which is, I think, the most shocking thing about watching the 39 movie was that it also pretty much ended at the same place where the 2026 movie ended.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought it was going to be covered more of the book, but yeah, there's it. The book ends like where the movies end on page 153 out of an almost a 400-page book. So there's a whole chunk that's not in either one of these movies, and that's just really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get into the movie for surezies,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah, once I get into this, but this is an interesting information I found out from a YouTube video. I think it's called Be Kind Rewind, and I'll get into some more of the really fascinating stuff, specifically with the lead actress of Meryl Oberon.
Mhm.
But one of the things I learned from this video is that part of the reason I was led to believe, it makes sense that I assume the only reason we ever got the first half of the book adapted and why every version since this version just stayed with that course was that that's the story that people most likely liked the most, is exploring
Mhm.
the relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine and the abuse of that relationship between each other and et cetera, and then the people around them. That I thought is like, oh, that's clearly the one that's the most popular with readers. And that's why even when they adapted it to the film, they were like, oh, let's just do this romance part, Turns out another key reason that it did that was because of the Hays Code, and that the abuse that the children go
Really?
through was a little too much for it.
No way.
Wow.
So I'm sure there's a little bit of both in the truth. I think that is a case of both. But but knowing that, it's like, oh, it's interesting to think if that wasn't the case, they probably would have adapted the whole book,
Mhm.
maybe truncated it even more, but they probably would have if they had the access to it. But the fact that they were like, no, you are literally abusing children.
Mhm.
We're not. The second half is mostly that abuse of family members. We're not putting that in a movie in that time period.
Yeah, I'd also heard the the way the second half goes is kind of like they all the characters' names are reused. So it becomes maybe even a little confusing if you're watching a movie where it's like, okay, yeah, this person's kid, Kathy's kid is Heathcliff and Heathcliff's kid is Kathy. Like it's like suddenly they switch places, and like even I think they even reuse the name Linton. Like it's like one of these
Oh god.
like, oh, everyone's
Oh,
named after
and-
everyone else. Yeah.
And our Heathcliff is not even the first Heathcliff in the book. It's Kathy's dead brother's name.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Right.
there's three, and by the end of the book, there's his son is called Heathcliff,
God damn it.
and it's just like, what? Why is there three of you in this book? Like in this story, that doesn't really make any sense. And who owns this name? And it's crazy.
Just
Yeah.
mildly confusing. But this movie also Zoe, so the book starts with like kind of the mysterious stranger come to the home, right? And like
Yes, Mr. Lockwood.
Mr. Lockwood and meeting Heathcliff and etc. So does the movie. So this is like the one I'm assuming like the beginning of this book. The movie is very much like the book where Mr. Lockwood comes in, sees the ghost of Kathy, meets Heathcliff, but also meets Nellie, and Nellie's the
Mhm.
one telling the story.
I think, and this is a great narrative device. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we'll get into it, but it's like, why do other versions? Why are they afraid of this? Like, this is like pretty good. And then honestly, you can never go wrong with a ghost. Like put a ghost in your movie. This movie starts with like, yeah, there's a ghost out there, and it's like, let's hear that ghost story. Let's hear how that ghost came about. Like I was
You're
hooked.
stuck in a storm, right? You're stuck in a storm. Our Mr. Lockwood is sick. There's a ghost in this creepy old house that he's trying to rent the other property from. And he's like, what the heck is going on? Everyone's mean to him, and he gets a fever. And so Nellie's telling him this story of what happened. And so it's almost, you get this story from Nellie, who's telling it to Mr. Lockwood, and then Mr. Lockwood's telling it to us. So you have two very like unreliable narrators that like, okay, this is Kathy's point of view, and then it's just whatever Mr. Lockwood remembers that Nellie said. So you're very detached from like what actually might have happened.
That's an interesting point. Like that it's technically two accounts that's telling us about the Earnshaws?
The Earnshaw family.
Earnshaws
Yeah.
and the Linton family. So it's like how much of this is exaggerated or how much of this is just off of memory. That makes this really fascinating. I do want to get into the cast really quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I of course mentioned Meryl Oberon as Catherine, and I have a lot of it. Thanks to that video I watched, I have a lot of interesting sort of perspective with her being involved in the film. Not so much her performance, which I think she's very good, but I think her performance, the fact that like her experiences strangely echoes an element of the story that I don't think anybody, definitely not everyone knew at the time, but also Mr. Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff, which like, oh, Olivier.
Right, let's go.
Who's like,
If we're gonna cast someone from the 30s, let's go.
that's the guy to do
Lawrence
it.
will do it.
I also we have David Niven as Edgar, which I think is a great choice.
It's one of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely forgot he was in the movie, and I saw him, and I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah, that's the stuff.
That's
It's really like David Niven is one of these guys with a if you know like that time period of movies, it's his mustache that you know.
Yes.
It's like truly like one of those where it's like, right, like we used to just have a guy like this that would be in movies, and you just were like, oh yeah,
David Niven.
yeah, you're just kind of like uptight, like a little like you're used for a bit of silliness, but generally like the bouncing off point is like you're fancy. You're a fancy man with a mustache.
And you have opinions.
Oh yeah. Yes, he does. And I feel like, is there anyone else that you kind of want to like put a call on? Like those are the big three for sure. But everyone's, I think, fairly well cast in the film. And I probably should also mention, actually, I really want to mention Geraldine Fitzgerald as Isabella. But I also want to mention the hilarious story of someone who was offered the role and they turned it down.
Please get into it.
Ooh.
So, to do again, I learned all this from the Be Kind Rewind video on this, right? Because the video was entirely on Meryl Oberon. But the Samuel Goldwyn, who of course produced the film, he envisioned the film to be a vehicle for Meryl because he kind of like believed Meryl was going to be the next big thing. So he of course like, oh, I want to cast Olivier, and even though him and Meryl apparently were like, they did a film together, they weren't necessarily like he didn't necessarily, Olivier didn't say a lot of nice things about Meryl, but whatever. But they had enough chemistry, and his star was rising that they were like, oh, he got along with her fine, so let's put her there. But Olivier really, really, really was pushing for his then wife fiance to play Catherine.
Right.
And to paraphrase, Goldwyn said, she's just not a big enough star to do it.
Oh,
Like
oh,
no one's heard of her yet. She's kind of like, we can give her Isabella. That's a good role for her. We'll give her Isabella. That's a good starting point for an actress, an English actress that no one's heard of. But we can't give her the lead. That's ridiculous. The actress that Olivia was with at the time was Vivian Leigh.
Yeah.
Who would then star in the same year,
Yep.
Gone with the Wind.
What a crazy year 1939 was for film.
It was
What
a big year for
crazy-
film, yeah.
For the 12th Academy Awards, you have Wizard of Oz, Wuthering Heights, and Gone with the Wind. That's bonkers.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Also,
Amazing.
I love it when like casting, like underestimating a person is like the story of a movie sometimes, where it's like, Vivian Leigh, I'm sorry, you're a little bit small potatoes for this film.
Even though she would have been a great Isabella.
I think so
Disney
too.
would have knocked that out of the park. It would have been so good.
Right.
But clearly she was very busy.
Clearly, and then she kind of did rub it in their faces because like she got nominated and Meryl did not.
Mhm.
And again, that's really tragic because it was meant to be a star vehicle for her,
Right.
and almost everyone else in the film got nominated except her. That's some real messed up shit.
Which is crazy.
Yes, because I think she's very good in this. I think she's very good. I mean, Olivia is great. Duh. It's Laurence Olivier.
I do also want to mention
Yeah, for real.
the director is William Wyler, who was, again, one of these, like, he directed for 20, 30 years and did quite a few that were, you know, awards contenders and known for a long time. Roman Holiday was one of his.
So good.
He did the 59 Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
So he did, and quite a few others, but it's just one of those where it's like, this was a very solid director. Like,
yeah.
I
would say one of those where it's like it's funny. It's like you could say he's like a journeyman director to a small degree, but also like you just mentioned 3 of the most famous movies of all time.
Yeah.
So do pretty good.
And I mean, there's other ones.
Yeah, you know, no big deal.
Yeah, kind of no big deal.
And he's like one of these where he directed, like, you know, Betty Davis, Joan Crawford.
Right,
like he directed like the big stars of the time and
right.
got some of their best performances, you know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, put Audrey Hepburn in her first movie.
Right.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. But you know, whatever.
No big deal.
No big deal. So one of the things I actually I do want to ask Zoe is because like you have read the book. How do you feel about how the way the 39 film kind of like I would say flies through the narrative of the story? How do you feel about that?
I do think it is a good adaptation for being 103 minutes long, and the pacing. The book is not great with pacing. It really just that, like I said, I tried to read it last fall and I wasn't into it, and if it wasn't for watching these films, I wouldn't have been excited to read the book or dive back in or give it a shot because it's really slow. Everyone is terrible. You're not rooting for anyone. Everyone is just miserable in this crazy, like really wet moors in Yorkshire. Like everyone is just, it's a depressing book. So it's not really fun to read. And so why Bella in Twilight loves it. So this movie I think they took all the important parts that made the story interesting, and they did justice to the characters in the 1939 film. Absolutely. And I mean, Meryl did a really good job of not making Kathy like absolutely insufferable to watch. So I think that's a really big accomplishment.
That's, I think, a key thing is that she doesn't do that 100%. Even when Catherine is really cruel, even when she like says some really nasty stuff, and I'm like, I still am invested in her, you know.
Well,
Right. You still care about her.
Yeah.
She makes Kathy likable on a certain level.
It's
True.
but it is also one of those where it's like you like the drama is what we're there for.
Right.
Where it's like, oh my god, did she really say that? Oh my god, did he really do that? Like, it's just the dramatic turns of like, wow, these people can be really cruel to each other.
Yeah. We do need to address one of the other elements of the story, and it's something that we're going to definitely probably harp on throughout the episode, and that's the ethnicity of Heathcliff. It's going to be a lot of the big points and discussions, and it's been a big point of discussion even up to the 2026 version. But one of the things I do want to point out is that the film more or less doesn't address it. When we like we do see when we see Heathcliff as a kid, like there's a Erwin Shaw points out he's a darker kid, and Olivier clearly is putting the lightest of brown faces.
Yeah.
So
this is a black and white film too, so it's
a little more forgiving, I guess.
Yeah. It is definitely one of those odd things where it is like it feels so part of the story that Heathcliff is like he's othered. Like he's definitely his introduction to the house is that the Mr. Earnshaw found him on the street, and it's kind of like, well, what does that even mean? Like I feel like the film doesn't even get into like, it's just like, I just found him on the street. I took him, and it's like, wait, is that like, I know this is supposed to be what, the 1800s, but it's like, that a thing people did? I guess so. I guess you could just grab a child and say, this is mine now?
Mine now. Like, you boy, get on this chair. You're on this horse. All right, you belong to me.
I'll do you a service.
I'll do you a service.
Yeah, it's like, oh my, like already starting from that point, the story is like, wait, what the hell? Like, and then to get into the kind of like the idea of, oh, is Heathcliff as like a person of color, as like someone who has was he a slave even? Like you're getting into like these ideas of like, why was he alone on the street? We never get into like Heathcliff as a child doesn't say, oh, I was from here, or he doesn't seem to know even where he comes from. No. Or he blocks it out, however you want to look at it. And then it never becomes like he doesn't even name himself. They name him in this version. Mr. Earnshaw just says, yeah, we'll call him Heathcliff. Like that's just like tossed off. But it is like one of those where he is like truly a mysterious character. And it kind of feels like they're just like, yeah, we're not going to get into that. And for maybe obvious reasons where it's like, oh, we don't want to touch that. Like it feels bad, but I always feel like it could be so much more interesting if we get into that kind of aspect. But this film never does. Yeah. And it is, as we've said, Laurence Olivier is playing him with a little, he puts a little bronzer on, like, so yeah.
Yeah, so like again, since the book is a little bit fresher in your mind, like what can you kind of comment on that?
The other characters, the Earnshaws, don't care about his history. They don't ask him. They don't say, hey, are you okay? Do you miss the people you were with before us? Nope. Nobody cares, and he doesn't say anything. So it just adds to the mystery of it all. But it feels like a very cheap out to like not give him a backstory because it makes it very mysterious. But I mean, you can make him a little bit more tortured, a little bit more like you feel bad for him, like knowing what his life was like before he got scooped up by Mr. Earnshaw. So nobody ever says anything, and you never get to find out because people around him do not care where he came from.
And I think to an aspect, it's kind of like a fantasy element of like, oh, he was rescued, off the street, like that feels like the ideal for helping someone like that. But it can also, I think, this movie glosses over it, but I think it can also feel like, oh, we're something is wrong with the world. Like something's wrong here where that's just like allowed and like a part of the society here.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Or very white savior of them.
Right.
To just step in and which is just very interesting that that's always just then that's just how what you take from Heathcliff, and then you're like, oh, okay, we change your name, we change your home, no big deal, we don't care.
And it's not quite like clear, like per se, what he is to them in this version of the story. Like
Right.
like it's not like, is he an adopted son? Who's to say? Is he a new hired help? Not particularly. Like
it is one of these. I feel like Mr. Earnshaw treats him like an adopted son, but it's clear that within the hierarchy of the household, like the servants in the household do not treat him well.
Yeah.
And then even what's his name? Hindley. The brother hates him. And I even think Kathy to a point hates him until she loves him, until she hates him. You know, it's one of that fluctuates, but it definitely you can sense the like there's a jealousy or there's a control aspect between her and him, even from their childhood, right away.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up Hindley because that's a character that I will say we'll put a pin on because it's interesting what happens in the 2026 version. And we haven't, but the fact that he's a character who he's already there to immediately go, I don't like this guy.
Yeah. He's
immediately there to just say, don't like Heathcliff. Don't like that he's here. Don't like that he's around. Don't like that he's giving any attention to my father. Don't like any of this stuff. He's basically this abusive element of Heathcliff's life for the rest of his life, essentially. I do find like that interesting element of like him being there, and then we see him grow up. Because at a certain point in the story, of course, like we see them as children. Then we see them grow up to become Mara Overton and Laurence Olivier. And then at this point, Mr. Earnshaw does pass away, which meant Hindley's now the one who runs and owns Wuthering Heights.
They do a time jump. Like it's a very specific dad dies. Okay, now let's jump.
Yeah. And now Hindley, because he's the man in charge, he now just completely abuses Heathcliff consistently. Then we get to the bit where we finally have them interact with the Lintons.
I think I going into this part, I think what is so interesting is as they grow up, it kind of becomes clear that how Kathy cares about Heathcliff is she says to him several times, like, why haven't you just left?
Yeah.
Like at this point in their lives, like you could just leave. Like obviously it's it's a rough world out there, but like gotta be better than here. Like you should just leave. And he never does.
Yeah.
Because of her.
Right.
Because they have that childhood connection. So when they get to the
even though she says several times, like, leave.
Yeah.
Why don't you run?
Yeah.
And he won't.
And I think that is so like key to their relationship. Like a key to their understanding this like dynamic of like caring about someone so much that you almost like hurt yourself to do it. Like he's staying even though it's bad for him because in his mind being close to her is good, even though they never they never become a couple. Like they never make that leap, and it's because Kathy is so into the idea of marrying a rich guy. And so then when the Lintons move in and Kathy's like, oh, let's go. They go to spy on them.
Yeah.
They're spying on their dance and they end up, she falls or something. She breaks her ankle.
Yeah.
And the dog attacks. and in that moment, everyone in the house becomes against Heathcliff.
Yeah.
They see him as a true intruder. And Kathy is like, oh no, we got to help her. And so in that moment, Heathcliff leaves. And we don't know, like for a little bit of time, we don't know what happened to Heathcliff.
Yeah.
But we know that Kathy's being taken care of by the Lintons. So it becomes this kind of like, oh, did he actually leave in this moment? And I think that to me was like, I was, oh, this is really interesting. Because that's like where the story could go from there is like so cool.
Yeah.
And David Niven comes out great. great Mr. Linton over here, Edgar
Mm.
Linton. And then and then when Kathy comes back,
It's like a month or so later.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's all, like ladied out.
Yeah.
Like
because it's kind of like Wuthering Heights is a little downtrodden.
Mhm.
Like it is not the fanciest home.
Yeah.
It's a nice enough
They
home.
give her a
but
little makeover.
They
Yeah.
give her a little makeover.
No,
No,
her back. Yep.
it's funny because it's clear that like the Earnshaws are not like in poverty. They have at least a home and they hire help, but it's clear that like they're not like the Lintons, and so in the weird way, I almost think like they're like below middle class. Like that's
Right.
like
They have the land and the title, but they don't
Yes.
have much cash.
Exactly. So it's when like Catherine comes back, she comes back with Edgar. So obviously Heathcliff is happy to see her, but he's also like in that weird place of you were there for a while.
Well, and it's also they give Kathy the moment
Mm.
where she thinks Heathcliff is gone.
Yeah.
And is it the maid? Someone says, "Oh, I'll get Heathcliff."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Heathcliff's here."
She assumed,
And it's like
right?
that
Yeah.
moment where it's like she thought everything was going to go good now because she had Edgar
Mhm.
and Heathcliff was off living a better life.
Yeah.
And it's actually Heathcliff stayed.
Yeah.
And it's really like that
Yeah.
kind of is like a heartbreaking moment where and when he explains he's like yeah, I went and got on the ship, then I missed you. Like it was just like, oh my God. Like what is wrong with you? But I was like, that's
So
that's a good
sweet.
drama. Yeah.
Very scandalous
Mhm.
for 1939 movie and for a 1840s book. So this kind of takes place at like the turn of the 1800s.
Mhm.
And that's like the biggest declaration of love. Like I could have gotten on this ship, but I didn't. I missed you. And that's it feels like a very 1800s version of like the feral woman like watching this. I can imagine in the theater back then. And I'm like, oh my God, how come you didn't tell me that you wouldn't get on a boat for me? And as they're leaving the theater, you never have done anything as romantic as what he did for her. And just imagine the men and walking out the theater like, oh my God, what did I? Olivier, what did you do? Like you ruined it again.
I took my wife to go see that Wuthering Heights picture, and dang, she let me have it. Why am I not like
Sleeping on the couch
Heathcliff?
now.
Yeah, I'm sleeping on the couch now because I apparently wasn't like Heathcliff.
I don't even know how to ride a horse.
So funny and just so of the time, like endearing in its own really toxic way.
Right.
I could have had a better life, but I stayed for you.
It's like, yeah, that's a thing that like, I feel like is sort of with the modern eyes is kind of realizing, oh, this is an excruciatingly toxic relationship. I mean, it didn't start in good places, so fair, but also like it's definitely.
Oh, you guys just got worse. You didn't get better. You just got worse as you got older. Nobody learned any lessons.
And also, like, it does show, and I know this is part of the big appeal of the book, is that, or like one of the interesting elements of the book is that wealth does not make you better.
Mhm.
Wealth makes you worse.
Mhm.
Once Heathcliff
Mhm.
gained wealth somehow.
That's another mystery element of Heathcliff. He's a
We
big
don't know.
mysterious man.
No one knows.
He
No
won't
one
even
cared
say.
enough to ask.
Well, in this movie, they have doesn't he's like what does it matter? He's like I'm a prince or something. Like he's just like kind of messing with them.
Oh
where he's-
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, I finally found out I was a prince. Whatever. Like, and it's just like that's not true. Like you're obviously lying, but like what the hell could have happened?
Oh yeah,
Or
because
the child fairy tale that
Right.
they told themselves.
that was the thing that
Kathy was saying,
yeah, Catherine
Mhm.
was telling him that. This is now I feel like the time I kind of want to bring up the abridged version of the stuff I learned about Meryl Overton, right? So
yes, please.
it is one of those things where I found out that one of the things about her rise to popularity in the 30s was that as people were trying to figure out her unique look, i.e., she looks, very, might I use an old phrase, exotic, and
Yes.
and it turns out that she's in fact actually like half Southeast Asian, Indian descent.
Mhm.
But if you, and I learned this all again, the Be Kind Rewind video is great. Check it out. That you find out that she, in old articles from the 1930s when they talked about her, they mentioned that she came from Tarzana or Tanzania or whatever in Australia or whatever, and then she grew up in England or whatever, and it's all these stuff to not mention the fact that she's part Southeast Asian. Mm-hmm. So technically speaking, like when she did get her, she didn't get an Oscar nod for Wuthering Heights, but she did get one for a different film before called Dark Angel. So technically speaking, mm-hmm. she's in fact the first Southeast Asian actress to have ever gotten an Oscar nod. Mm-hmm. But they wouldn't have said that back then. Yeah. Especially because
nope.
various reasons, she couldn't point out that she was Southeast Asian of any fashion. So they kind of had to hide it. Because, simply, one of the reasons she could have been deported for one reason or another. Mm. And that sounds familiar.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're telling me
that's
she
scary.
had to hide her ethnicity because, and let's point out, she grew up in poverty. Mm-hmm. She had to hide her ethnicity to blend in, mm-hmm. to join a higher society.
And specifically, like, Hollywood is famous for, especially at that time, changing everyone's names.
Yeah. Her name is not Meryl
O'Brien.
Yeah, Oberman. It is Estelle Meryl O'Brien Thompson is her full name, but also, yes, her mom was like Indian. So, like, here she is on a film in which her lead character is a woman, is an English woman, and that her male lead is putting on light brown face because he has to be playing a character that is othered. Mm-hmm.
And it's also, right, you think about what was also going on, right, in 1939. So Hattie McDaniel wins the Oscar mm-hmm. for playing Mammy in Gone with the Wind. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't allowed to be in the same room as everybody else who also won an Academy Award.
Right.
So all of this political and social climate that this movie's being made just adds to Meryl. Like, I'm sure she was also at the same Academy Awards, and Hattie McDaniel is historically wins this an Oscar for playing a supporting character in Gone with the Wind, but she's not allowed to mingle with everybody else. So that probably added to just Meryl doubling down on nobody can know where I come from, because then I will never get to be in with everyone else. I will be othered like Hattie McDaniel was. And she got a front row seat of that. I'm pretty sure. I can't imagine she wouldn't be at the Oscars for this. So she got to see all this, and I think that really adds into her, as a person, she's later in her life, she's trying to lighten her skin because she mm-hmm. doesn't want to be othered. So all of that to then play this character in Wuthering Heights, where Laurence Olivier is dating the most popular actress, this new ingenue star, Vivian Leigh, playing Scarlett O'Hara. That's who your lead is in this movie. And he gets, I don't know if he got nominated mm-hmm. or not. I don't think so. But this is your opposite, and that should have been you up on that stage winning for Best Actress.
Right.
But she didn't even get nominated. And how crazy, all that just feeds into that. Okay, I can't be othered, even though I'm in this movie based on this huge book about someone being othered. And how crazy, just
God,
what a mind warp.
God,
for all of this.
Side note: Olivier was nominated, so that sucks.
Okay.
But still,
right? This was supposed to be your vehicle. This was supposed to be your career. Who's this British girl who's hooting and hollering? And she came out of nowhere. What?
Holy crap.
And I did read also, I read Gone with the Wind for the first time last month. Oh, wow. And that was a crazy ride. So this is just, and it get like the book was published the same year the movie came out. Like they got the rights early, and it was just and it won the Pulitzer. But that's also a very wild and very racist book.
Wow.
So just a crazy time to be making art.
Yeah.
In 1939.
No kidding. Oh my god. So the film does, of course, like we are, of course, we get to a lot of the points of the story. So Heathcliff comes back. He's now a man of means. Kathy's already well deep in her relationship with Edgar.
They married.
They're
right?
married.
Yeah.
They're married at this point.
Mhm.
This is where Heathcliff decides to take Isabella.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isabella is Edgar's sister.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's just straight up. That's his sister.
Yeah, that's kind of the most
Yep.
of the character in this movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, Edgar's sister. Yeah.
And she's just kind of whatever. Like she's just there.
I will say this, and this is kind of where I shows because jumping to kind of like the end of the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. After she does marry Heathcliff and is now part of the Wuthering Heights home, air quote, if you want to call it that. We kind of jump into where everyone's at, and it's like Hindley is just constantly drunk and constantly being viewed by a doctor.
Well, and because Heathcliff bought Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
is like, for Hindley, that's like the biggest insult.
Mhm.
Is that he's lost everything. Hindley's a drunk and a gambler. Like he is
Yep.
just like completely wasted the fortune of the home, what
Mhm.
little they had. And now Heathcliff rolls up here. It's like he went to America and came back with fortune or something. That's kind of the idea. And he comes in, buys the house, and there's this really tense scene
Mhm.
between Heathcliff and Hindley that
Yeah.
I also really enjoy, that it's specific to this version, where Hindley like pulls a gun on Heathcliff,
Mhm.
and Heathcliff does not tremor, does not back down. He just looks right at Hindley and he says, "You're a coward." And I'm like, oh, like that's like so good, because it's all through their childhood. Like he was the bully. Hindley bullied him, and now
Mhm.
he's grown up, and Heathcliff is not retaliating in any sense except that he bought the house.
Mhm.
And that is enough to drive Hindley insane.
Yeah.
And Hindley doesn't shoot him
Yeah.
because he is a coward. Like I'm like, oh my God, I love that kind of like that. It's a revenge in a way that you don't see a lot. Because you think, revenge, you think of like, oh, he kills him, or oh, he does this. It's like, no. For that was enough revenge for him. You buy the house and you let him live there and see him waste away.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's good. But then the revenge
Playing
he
the
gets,
long game.
yeah,
Playing the long game,
The
yeah.
revenge he gets on Kathy is like kind of honestly
Yeah.
messed up. Marrying Isabella is really like, come on, Heathcliff.
That's but what really kind of like makes it really kind of cruel is the fact that like not only does he marry Isabella, but he puts Isabella being part of the Wuthering Heights house is that she's like eventually just starts becoming cynical and bitter and unhappy in her own right. And it's just like there's that great scene that I think about a lot, where it's actually the scene with the doctor coming in, right? And he's checking on Hindley again. And the doctor's like, hey, next time Heathcliff asks for me to check on him, get a different doctor. I'm tired
Yep.
of this. Tired of it. I'm tired. Like, you might as well just drink in the morning and say that you feel better by the end of it, because that's the equivalent of what I'm doing, right? And he's leaving, and this is where he's like telling Isabella, it's like, hey, get out of here. Just get out of here. You know what? Your brother's gonna need you soon. Wanna know why? Kathy is deathly ill. Get out of here. I gave birth to you. I was there at your birth. Like, I mean, just this place is making you terrible. Get out of here and go to your brother, because he's gonna need like the family. He's gonna need family with him soon, because he's gonna lose Kathy, because Kathy's dying. And this is how bad Isabella's turned into. Isabella then goes, "Oh, she's dying? Oh, good. Then I'll feel at peace."
Yeah.
I was watching this at my house with my buddy, and I immediately went out like, "Holy shit!" I said that out loud.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, and the doctor even did that look too, and he's like, "Oh my God, well, I'm fucking leaving."
Yeah.
Y'all are nuts.
You're all suck.
House is driving you all. Yeah, this is. I don't want any part of this. Get a different doctor. I'm out.
Yeah. Oh my god. And yes, already we're kind of like, this is basically ramping up to the to the end of the story of this version of the film, where Heathcliff finds out and then runs over to her. And this story, in this version, they get to kind of have their goodbyes. In a classic Hollywood death way. You know. He even gets to carry her out of the bed.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
She gets to look at the moors once more.
Yeah.
And she just like faints in his arms as Edgar's coming.
Oh man. So we then get back to the present with Nellie and Mr. Lockwood. And then he kind of realizes, like, where's Heathcliff? Because he's actually been gone.
Yeah.
This entire time Nellie's been telling this story, and Lord knows how long she's been talking. And that's when, like, this is where it's like this is like the movie's attempt to kind of, I wouldn't even know if it's really an attempt for the movie to give it a happy ending, but to give it a closure.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's happy, but I would say closure is the best way to put this.
It's kind of like, I mean, you were talking about the Hays Code. It's this idea of, I mean, generally in these films, if someone does a crime, they have to be, you know,
right,
that justice must be served. The bad guy has to die, like these kinds of things. This is one of these like morally gray stories where they did not commit crimes, but they were bad people. And so it's kind of like the good, quote unquote, good ending is like, yeah, they're both dead now. Like they're now, their ghosts can haunt this land because they're so messed up together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Exactly. Nellie's like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. It's like, finally they're at peace, I guess.
Like closest thing these two are going to get peace. Oh man. And yeah, I mean, before you fully wrap up on the 39 film, Zoe, is there anything else you want to say about the 39 movie?
I really like the quote that's on the poster for this movie that said, I'm torn with desire, tortured by hate. Like, it's just such a one of those like really dramatic like byline or slogan for this movie. And I don't know, I think it's just a really gothic, like moody, tortured poet. Like the literature, the bookish girl in the 1930s would have absolutely like gone for this movie. And I think it's very, I would have liked to know what if the audience then had social media like we do now, what would the audience, what would the demographic be saying in reaction to this movie? And then who grew up to be like, oh, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so angsty and so romantic. And whoever preferred that over Gone with the Wind or Wizard of Oz, I love that. This is for a very niche type of person. And I think I really liked it. And there was part of for before we close the chapter on Meryl Oberon, I think I don't remember the name, I didn't write it down, but someone who she worked with then created a specific kind of lens, I believe, to shoot her so that her skin looked lighter on screen. I think that's so, because I think there's something, you guys are the directors, not me, an Obi, that was the technology that they invented, and it was for her to make her skin look lighter on black and white films, and she never really like transferred over to color film because her skin color showed up more. And that whole part of it is just super fascinating, and having that as the foundation of the first book adaptation or movie adaptation of this book, and how race is so buried and like part of not the discussion, but as today where you cover, like, now we know this is what was happening. She's like, oh, I'm from Australia, I'm from Tasmania. And then she goes, and they wanted to name like a library or building after her. And then they're like, oh, where in Tasmania are you from? And she's like, actually, like, I'm not. So I'm sick. I can't do any more press. And
Oh my god.
so to have this movie still have this, like, even though they wiped the race card from it, kind of like they just don't talk about it,
Mhm.
it still is embedded in the artist who made this story. And I think that's really fascinating that 100 years ago, or almost 100 years ago, that this was still an element of the story, very much about how it's a huge part of the discussion for the 2026 film.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
very well said. Extremely well said. And I will agree to that. I think learning about Oberon's actual history added such a new layer to my viewing experience. Even though and I didn't even know,
Absolutely.
and I watched the movie before I learned about that. So I was like, oh, this is a nice, good take on the story.
Mhm.
Especially for a classic 1939 Hollywood film. Then learning that, it's like, oh, whoa. Whoa, that is
Right. There's so much surrounding this movie that doesn't have anything to do with the actual story in the movie.
Mhm.
And then how is the same thing happening in 2026?
Yeah.
Crazy. So, so crazy. It's like the same, like, energy and the same soul of this story was then carried on through
Yes.
previous or
Hey.
future projects.
Whatever this thing's soul is made out of, so's the other one. To
Any
paraphrase.
kind of racism. Any racism in his soul, mine is made of the same.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
I think that wraps up the 39 version.
Okay.
So we will take a little break. We'll go riding across the moors, see what Edgar Linton's up to. And when we come back, it'll be 2026
It's a long ride to the moors.
with Emerald Fennel.
Oh boy.
To all who come to this happy podcast, welcome.
Anna Musings are your musings.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Kayla.
And if it wasn't readily apparent from that, we're huge nerds about Disney. That's why we're doing the Anna Musings podcast.
Once a month, we'll sit down and talk about a film in detail from the Walt Disney Animation Studios filmography, covering them in chronological order, from Snow White to Moana and beyond.
To Moana and beyond!
Sweetie, we're not doing Pixar yet. We'll do that after.
And that's gonna be a long time coming. Anyway, if that sounds up your alley, come join Kayla and I, and maybe a guest or two, as we explore the Disney animated canon, film by film.
With the hope that it'll be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Ooh, nicely said.
Don't thank me, thank Walt.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Oh, all the horses stopped. Okay. So while we're hanging out at the Linton house,
It's very
was it
nice.
Thrush Cross Grange or something, right? It has some
Yep.
crazy name. We can talk about the Patreon. Patreon.com/nothingnew. You can find a bunch of bonus episodes, bonus content you won't find anywhere else. You can join for $1 a month and get access to all of that. So here's a little sample of this month's episode.
This movie having a Black Heathcliff does emphasize the importance of the character being a person of color.
Yes, they Hindley is out and out racist towards him. And an interesting thing that they add is that Mr. Earnshaw, the father, is incredibly Christian.
Yeah.
And he says that taking in Heathcliff was the Christian thing to do. That's
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
he
yeah.
says it, which does play into like a more of a white savior narrative. And then kind of like this almost weaponization of religion. Like he wants to baptize Heathcliff into the church, but Heathcliff resists. Like
Right.
this is a scene that doesn't exist in any other adaptation
No,
as far as
no.
I know. So it's very pointed here, where it's like he is resisting becoming part of this like group and family. He's still recognizing that he is separate from them, even though him and Kathy have this very
This horse is named Babushka. Babushka. Second Kate Bush reference. Nice. Here we go. Yes, you can listen to that episode in full for just $1 a month. You and the rest of our incredible patrons have access to our 9 years, coming up to 9 years worth of exclusive to only Patreon content. We very rarely, if ever, actually post the stuff on our Patreon to our main timeline. There are so many original episodes on our Patreon, remakes we've pitched ourselves, other movie reviews and comparisons, and even just like recently, we've, for some reason it took us this long to get to it, but you can also hear our top 10 favorite remakes that we saw in the previous year and the remakes we're looking forward to this year. And you get those episodes exclusively on Patreon for just $1 a month. Now, that being said, if you got that Mr. Linton money and you want to spend $25 for at least just 1 month, you can control the show and you can tell us what to cover. And we've gotten a lot of great episodes on that. Again, I always bring up King Kong. I think that's one of our strongest episodes, and that was because that episode exists because of Patreon. We've done Power Rangers. We've done Muppet Christmas Carol in comparison to Mickey's Christmas Carol, and so many more because
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Not the ones you'd think.
Not the ones you think. All these episodes exist because someone decided, hey, here's extra 25. I want you to cover this. And I always bring up the fact that there's a lot that we still haven't covered that we're like, hey, are you ever getting around to that? And I'm like, we can get there faster if you paid us. Mm-hmm. So, Scarface. I keep bringing up Scarface to the point Andrew said, I don't think we're going to do Scarface until someone pays us to do Scarface.
Yeah, I think we have to hold on to that one until it's paid for.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you can do that. Just $25. Now that I've pushed our Patreon enough, Zoe, please tell the fine folks where they could find you online if you want to be found. It's up to you.
You can find me online. I'm at Bookish Bell on almost all social media platforms, and then I also have a Substack, zoegullickson.substack.com, and I talk a lot about what movies and I'm watching, what TV shows I'm watching, what music I'm listening to, and what I'm reading, because I read a lot. And yeah, that would be great. But thank you guys so much for inviting me back here. I really love the opportunity to hyperfixate on something I'm obsessed with, and getting to talk about it with other people who care is such a blessing. So thank you.
And I actually do want to point out, because I think me and Andrew talked about this before we started recording. I believe, Zoe, you might have been I think you are, in fact, our first remote guest on the show.
Oh, live coverage from the East Coast.
Yeah. Because most all our guests have been like friends who are in the area, but you were the first like outside the California guest that we've had. And it was a learning curve for Andrew. I know that.
Back then that was really hard to pull off, and now with the advances in technology and the upgrades that I've made to the equipment here at Nothing New Studios, this is easy now. Like it's really fun to be able to have people on who are not just local, to have a perspective from not around the world. We haven't gone global yet, Justin. But
it would be nice.
Yeah, from coast to coast.
Coast to coast. There you go.
New goals.
Canada. We've
had
yeah.
How's the weather over there in Southern California?
It's warm again. Sorry. I know. You guys are in a blizzard.
We had like 2 days of rain and mild flooding, and then it just got super hot again.
It's so typical.
Wow.
Typical California weather. Like, I literally bought a rain jacket for the first time because it was raining actually a lot, very consistent to moment. I need to get a real rain jacket. So of course, the moment I do, it stops raining.
Wait, you bought your first rain jacket?
Yeah, that's California living, Zoe. My first rain jacket.
Wow.
Justin wears. I don't want to blow up anyone's spot, but Justin, you wear flip flops.
Yep.
Sandals. Like you wear those a lot, and that is a very California thing. But even as I grew up, I was like, oh, I'll move to shoes. You have kept that lifestyle.
I'm a flip flopper dude.
And that's how California rolls. Like,
people. This is how I know like how hardcore I am with the flip flops, because it doesn't bother me and I prefer it. Is that like I've gone to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Rocking flip flops, and everyone looks at me. Are you insane? Like what about? Aren't you worried about your feet? And I went, no, I never am worried about my feet because I know I can navigate this with ease. This is my most
How
confident
very
I can.
Hobbit of you.
I am very confident. Yeah, it's very true. I'm part Hobbit in that regard.
Mhm.
I like having breakfast, lunch, brunch,
Second breakfast.
second
yeah.
breakfast, mealsies,
Elevensies.
snacks, elevensies.
Mhm. I'm a big fan of elevensies.
Elevensies is nothing like a good elevensies.
That's a sweet spot.
Yeah,
You really hit that good flow around 11 days.
exactly. Anywho, there we go. So yes, thank you. Welcome for coming back, and I think it's appropriate that it's another literary classic adaptation. That felt the most right.
Oh, my English college degree is really getting its full use right now with you guys. I fully appreciate it. But yeah, I am so excited to talk about this new one because it's not anything what I thought it was going to be like at all. Or my visceral reaction to it completely threw me for a loop. I don't really know who I am. I had to go see the movie again for a second time just to make sure that I was ready to go on the internet and say that I loved this movie.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I've never felt the need to go so compelled to go back a second time, not even for pure interest, but because I needed to make sure I wasn't gaslit into liking this movie. I had to go see it again just to make sure.
Now
before I became vocal about it.
I have to know, Zoe. Have you seen or do you like either of Emerald Fennell's other film, Promising Young Woman and Saltburn?
So yes, I've seen both of them, and I'm actually a really big fan of her as an actress. She did this TV show on PBS called Call the Midwife, where she plays a midwife in the 60s in poorer parts of London, and she's phenomenal in that. And then she played Camilla Parker or Bells Parker in The Crown on Netflix, and I was really like, oh, she was on Call the Midwife. Oh, I love this woman. And then she started making these weird movies, and I'm like, what on earth is happening here? But okay, sure. And I enjoyed Promising Young Woman. I was really disturbed by it. I only saw it once. Once was enough. It was great. And then I saw Saltburn, and I was really, again, that is inspired by Brideshead Revisited, a novel by Evelyn Waugh, which I don't think many people talk about. And it's not a really popular classic literature. And the miniseries adaptation stars Haley Atwell, who played Peggy Carter in the Avengers movies, and she's excellent in it. But yeah, Saltburn is really, because they named it something else, it didn't get as much flack for being an unfaithful adaptation. So I was excited to see what she liked, but I was very hesitant, almost to the point where all the noise, just for the online noise leading up to this movie for the last year, has been really stressful. And I really had I was preparing myself to just hate this weird movie that was coming out. But I was so fascinated because I love Margot Robbie and I trust her with the projects she makes. But I'm like, God damn it. Now I'm going to go see this weird movie. And now I don't know if I have the energy for this. And then that was a crazy emotional journey that I went on in that movie theater. So how about you guys? Were you guys fans of, what did you guys think of her other two movies?
So, confession time. I've not actually seen her other two films. I've always been meaning to, especially Promising Young Woman. I remember seeing the trailer for that and went, that looks really appropriate right now. I think that's and the title was so intriguing. Saltburn I also really wanted to see, but I just never got around to it. It's just fact of life, and sometimes there's just never enough hours in a year.
No.
And I was really trying to see if I had time to go do that before I saw Wuthering Heights, but sadly this didn't work out. So this had to be my first Emerald Fennell experience.
Maybe that's good that we have all these perspectives, because I'm coming from I really enjoy Promising Young Woman. I think it has a little hiccup in it, but I think overall it's pretty good. And it's her as a first feature film. It's oh, you've really got something to say and you know how to say it. Then I saw Saltburn. I was like, oh, okay. I guess this is your second film. Sure, you really wanted to do this. And now Wuthering Heights.
I don't know who it's for. Yeah, I don't know who Saltburn is first, but like everyone was talking about it. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. And also, she was the showrunner for season 2 of Killing Eve with Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer.
Yes.
Which I have recently watched, and I didn't realize that she was the showrunner for it. And it also kind of makes sense. But none of those previous work prepared me for what I saw in Wuthering Heights.
I was doing a little more research into Emerald Fennell because I was like, where did she come from? Like, what is this about? Like, how is she doing all this? But an interesting little thing is she wrote the book for Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cinderella, aka Bad Cinderella, which is what they call it in America. And I think some people would agree that it is just bad.
Absolutely. As someone also who lives in New Jersey but is a frequent Broadway goer, that Broadway show did not. It really fell flat over here. They tolerated it more in London, but once it was renamed Bad Cinderella, everyone was like, "What a piece of garbage this is! Who is still giving Andrew Lloyd Webber money? Like, this is awful."
I hate to bring up
Justin.
Justin famously. When we covered our Phantom of the Opera, that's where the Andrew Lloyd Webber hate came from. Now it's just a part of the show. Now it's like,
Andrew mentions the other Andrew, and I get all upset.
But yeah, so her
made a lot of sense.
The adaptation angle is what I was so interested by, because Promising a Woman was original, and I didn't realize Saltburn was kind of loosely based on something that actually makes a lot of sense to me now. But yeah, to see
at least it has a starting point, right?
Yeah,
because Saltburn is so like, where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of fan fiction in a way, but okay. Whereas it kind of prepares you a little for Wuthering Heights.
I think also like just the most at a glance, her background is from like an upper class, rich family, like artistic family.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I think she is moved in these circles where she has seen money change people. She has been in these expensive, opulent houses that are centuries old. Like this is kind of like her vision of it is maybe a little more personal.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings in the more modern sensibility to something that can feel kind of old and stodgy. So it's like Saltburn is kind of like a very direct attack on that,
mm-hmm.
where it's like the house and who controls it, like that, like who, all the money in this estate, who is controlling this, where does it go, that kind of thing. And that kind of, to me, I'm like, oh, I see why she did Wuthering Heights. Like she did Saltburn, and she was like, oh, can I put a little Wuthering Heights spin on that? Oh yeah, maybe. And that here we are.
And that makes sense too. And even that's why Bronte wrote the book.
Yeah,
is like that was her experience seeing that and her transferring it to the book. So I could even see for Fennell, it's like an added layer of like, oh, I also have like that POV in my experience. So I can see that maybe that's why she felt she had an angle on Wuthering Heights. So I'm one of the things I want to point out.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we did this the week after the movie came out. If we recorded this the week the movie came out, again, I'm sure the conversation would have been still great, but I think I'm a little relieved that we waited. It was a circumstance we couldn't really do it that week, but I actually am glad we waited, because I have seen the reactions for the whole week, and it has been extremely interesting to me because I'm coming in from the outside looking in. Right, I've never read the books. I've never read the book. Never seen the other versions of the film. I have no connection. I am as disconnected to the story as possible. So I went to go view this movie as this movie. I understood that this is going to be, and this will piss off so many Wuthering Heights fans, that this was my first exposure to the story. was the 2026 movie.
I think it was for a lot of people.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think like because I came at it from that direction, I walked out being extremely fascinated by it. And
Can I
that,
please? I would also.
Please.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
no.
want to know also what have you heard this week online? Because you are a very different demographic than I am,
yes,
and I feel like my algorithm is probably very different than yours.
yeah,
So
yes.
I do want to hear more about what you're hearing about this movie, because I don't think it's the same as what I'm hearing about this movie.
And again, that's a great question because I feel like, again, I am a straight male who algorithm I'm sure is leaning towards more of that, but even then I'm looking on predominantly on Threads. Threads is where I almost feel like the angriest people now go.
Uh-huh.
Like but like one of the things I keep seeing in Threads is just like it would start off like maybe one person posting something about the movie, not even negative or positive, just a thing about the movie, and then I would see several comments later going, well, yeah, too bad the movie fucking wasn't truthful to the book. And I would see that post repeatedly over and over and over and over again. And like there was even a video that I thought, oh, that's cool, was because like, again, as I was going to my deep dive, of course this is how I learned about the Kate Bush song, and I saw all three 4 or 5 versions of the music video she made. FYI, my favorite one's the one where it looks like Haunted Mansion Disney, where the caskets are like there's like it's like a spooky thing, and like the tombstones are dancing with Kate. That's my favorite music video. I understand that the red dress is the most iconic one, so fair enough. But
yes,
but
it's the perfect earworm.
It is a perfect earworm. The damn
as the like backdrop,
the
background noise.
The song's been in my head the whole
week.
The song's been in my head the whole week. That's why I decided to dedicate doing the joke in the beginning. But anyway,
yes.
Like I saw that like, on the last day of filming, because Margot was wearing that outfit that had that really crimson red skirt while they were filming outside, she did the Kate Bush dance. And like she did it lip syncing to the song, and it's like, oh look, hey Margot did the thing, because I know there's a there's a Wuthering Heights Day where the fans of the song joined together at a park throughout the world, and they played the song on a speaker, and there's like hundreds of people in dresses doing the dance together, and it's like it's in Australia, California, Austria, whatever. So I joked that Margot should just randomly show up to one of these just cuz like she's the current Catherine. And then I see that like, oh good, she understood the assignment, she did this while filming the movie. So I saw that video online, and then a bunch of people were going, this is the most accurate thing from the dumb movie. And I went, ooh, okay. Well, a lot of people mad. Then I went on YouTube. Oh boy.
Oof.
So many videos. I haven't clicked on all of them. I've clicked on maybe 1 or 2 of them because I wanted to hear their point of view. But like so many videos of people looking upset in the thumbnail. And variations of the thumbnail saying, the fuck is this?
Which I would write. I feel like that's the general consensus since this movie was announced, and it was announced with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi playing Kathy and Heathcliff, and everyone has been on the I hate this train ever since. And everyone's getting on it. And for the amount of people online who are saying it's not faithful to the book, dare I say, I don't believe everyone when they say, I read the book, it's nothing like the book. Or everyone that talks about the book, have you actually read the book? If you're going to sit here and go online and complain about how it's nothing like the book, did you actually read the book? Because I don't believe all of you. And yeah, that was my big takeaway at the end of this week, is that for the amount of people who are complaining, I think you're just jumping on the train. Because I don't believe that all of you have read this unless you guys were also all Twilight fans in high school. Like, I really don't see it. I really don't. And you can't even compare it to, oh, well, this adaptation that I grew up with was so much more faithful to the text. We don't have that faithful adaptation, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, that's true. Andrew, what do you got? What are you thinking?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. I did not enjoy my experience of watching this film.
Oh, I love this.
It really had. I was just like, so I was let down from the 39 version, like that being what we're comparing it to, but also what I've seen the most. I'm like, oh, it doesn't have like the drama, like all the drama's replaced with like sex scenes or something gross approximating sex. Like the eggs and all these different little things or like sounds that, like, I feel like Emma Flynn was playing with like moaning or grunting, like all these sounds that are meant, like everything that it went hypersexual. And I think in a sense I can understand, if that's a reading of the text, I guess, is that they're having an affair. And so when that comes up, but the movie from second one is the whole world of this movie is too horny. Like it is. This movie starts with a hanging where the hanged man has a visible erect penis and a nun comments on it and boys point at it. And then it cuts to Kathy's there for some reason as a child. And then like a couple having sex in a corner. Like it's like this insane like beginning where I'm like, what happened here?
Well, even before we even get to the visual of singing the hanging, the audio.
Yeah, the audio
was completely obvious, so implied to make it seem like you're hearing someone have sex. And like, oh, that's them in bed and what have you. And then you like cut to the actual visual.
A hanged man.
Oh, it's a hanging man. Yeah. There's his erect penis. That's such a very much like, oh, we're opening and saying this right now. And yeah, the movie goes off in that direction.
Yeah.
That is an opening of intent.
And I think,
saying, this is the tone,
it's an intent, and Emerald Fennell is also like very much saying, I am doing something different. Yeah. Like everything that you expect in this movie that you would expect is actually different.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really like it felt at a certain point, I was like, she's changing stuff just to change it. Like I didn't even feel like a meaning to it. I was like, I think she's trying to be subversive, but there's nothing that she's actually saying with the subversiveness. I mean, I think, okay.
Agreed.
I think I want to talk about the cast. Because if you look at the cast, it's this very strange element where, so Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi are Catherine and Heathcliff. And then Hong Chow plays Nellie.
Who I love Hong Chow.
I love Hong Chow.
Yeah.
Nellie in no adaptation has been of Asian descent or anything.
Yeah.
And
no.
Then Edgar Linton is played by Shazad Latif, who is very visibly like a brown person, like Indian, Yeah. And it's and then Isabella is Alison Oliver, who was also in Saltburn. So that was kind of like a little Jacob Elordi and her coming back for a little reunion there. But
sure.
The idea of, if you look at, I think from what I understand of the book, Catherine and Heathcliff would look more like Shazad Latif and Alison Oliver, a dark-haired, pale woman and a darker-skinned man.
Yeah.
And then, Linton and Isabella would look more like Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. So it's this kind of like, I feel like she said, I'm going to swap the way everyone looks to mix it all up. And it didn't mean anything. I wanted it to mean something.
Agreed.
And as it went on, I was like, this doesn't mean anything.
I want to play yes, this is definitely in the conversation right now. Obviously, the biggest the biggest conversation is Jacob, right? The casting of Jacob, and especially because I've heard from people in real life, not just online folks. I've heard one coworker literally go up to me and said they hated it. Fair. And I have another coworker who hasn't seen it, but was already, as soon as they saw the trailer with Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff, they were not happy about it from day one. So, and I understand that the conversation with Jacob is, and we're going to get there. Trust me, that's a big conversation to have.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like the thing that muddies the casting of Jacob, for me, is that I understand maybe a certain degree of possible reasons why. I know in Emerald's a personal reason, but also is the fact that like I kind of get what to a degree that the issue I have though is the casting of Hong and Shazad, and I love again I stress I love Hong Chow. Been a fan of Hong Chow for many years, but. Okay, the casting of Hong Chow as Nellie, I found fascinating because in the movie, it's mildly implied that she is another othered situation. That's why we hired you. That's why we brought you in, implying that Nellie is not also of this area. That, yes, maybe...
No, they say that she is the bastard child of a lord and no one else will have her. So even though she's not a maid, she's a lady's companion in this movie where the maid is sitting here and Heathcliff has showed up when they're kids and Nellie's from inside reading a book and watching them play outside. I think they put rats in a barrel and they're like killing them. They're just like really gross and violent from the get-go as soon as they pair up together. And Nellie is just like, she didn't like the hanging, she thought that was gross, and now she's inside and she's being othered because she's not as violent as them. But then the maid can see that she's jealous, and Nellie just like knocks her cup off the table to make the maid clean it up because she's like, no, I'm better than you, but I'm not as good as them, even though Heathcliff is like the bottom, like the dirt. Like he's the bottom of this ladder.
Yeah.
Why is he suddenly in my spot? Like he's her companion now and not me. And I'm the bastard child of a lord. So all of this just classism, like where does everyone fit on this pyramid is so fascinating.
Exactly. And then also to the fact that while never addressed, clearly also Nellie is of Asian descent. And that's why you cast Hong, right? I am for that as an extra layer of narrative, but it gets muddy with Shazad's casting because he's playing Linton, and clearly Shazad is and I just double check. He's of Pakistani descent, but he's treated as an upper class gentleman with no real. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think they have.
There's no real race discussion with him.
No, and I think they try and gloss over that with one kind of mention that he's of new money. He's like of shipping or something. It's the idea of like the Earnshaws are like an old money family, and now Linton is moving into this empty estate because he's got new money.
Yeah.
So it's like the money is what they respect. They don't. It's like they're trying to say that they don't see race. It's like one of those.
But that's the problem,
That
right?
is the problem.
Yeah, no, that is the problem with that. Is like that doesn't quite make it muddies I think the overall message.
Yeah.
And I feel
you guys, I have a really good take on this that I think puts all of it kind of organizes all of these thoughts
please.
of
Yeah,
why
please.
it feels wrong.
Let me hear it. Love
it. You're in the book, in the original text, right? So when it comes down to the main conflict of this story is Catherine marries Linton because he has money, right? She wants Edgar can give her a life that Heathcliff can't. So she marries him, Heathcliff goes away, he comes back, and in the original text, Heathcliff is the person of color and Edgar's white. And it's so profound because now both men in her life have money. They have this status and the security that she wants, and she picks the person of color over the person who's white and traditional. And that's why it's such a big scandal. But in this movie, now Heathcliff and Edgar they were both wealthy. So she picks the white guy over the person of color in this book. They switched it. And then that feels wrong. As an audience, you're watching it and you're like, okay, you made all these really big race choices
Yeah.
in casting in this movie. So now, but now the conversation because that race has from the original book doesn't hold the same weight because now it means nothing. So then
Mm.
why did you cast a white guy and then purposely cast someone of who looks Indian or Southeast Asian? Why did you cast him, and then also make Nellie Asian if it's not going to mean anything? Or
Yeah.
now she just picked a white guy over a guy of color because they're both like, when money is offered to her, it's no longer, oh, I'm choosing him even though he's colored. It's, oh, I'm choosing him because I've just been in love with him since I was little, whatever. And then so race doesn't play a part in this movie, and that's why I kind of feel cheapened in that aspect
Yeah.
of you made these big decisions, but like why? And there's no why behind it. So I think that's why, Andrew, like you're just like frustrated with it, and that's totally accurate and reasonable. I think that's a very proper response to that.
Yeah, and it feels like it had possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing. It felt like it should have had purpose, and then to not have a purpose makes it feel like there was no meaning. Like it had, like it's kind of like worthless. It's like, well, why did we even bother doing this?
And it's sort of like, and we've been noticing a lot in recent years with like other films of big budget films where they start doing that more often, doing the
West Side Story.
Yeah.
Was correcting the wrongs of the original.
Yeah.
Like it's truly one of those things where they like squandered an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was the big budget new adaptation remake, however you want to think of it. If no one knew that the other ones existed, it wouldn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
You could cast anyone you want.
Yeah.
Why did it have to be Jacob Elordi?
Yeah.
Because she had previously worked with him in Saltburn. That's my running theory. I mean, and even like having Margot Robbie. I mean, Zoe, you mentioned you're like, I trust Margot Robbie. I do too. And yet this feels like a complete miscalculation because Kathy, the age disparity between them is already like, how does that even work? Because they're supposed to be kids at the same time. And then they make it a big thing that in this version, Kathy is, she's too old, like to get married. They're like, oh, you're past your prime.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is like very clearly like an older Kathy. Like Kathy is meant to get married at 18 to Linton. And here, here's Margot Robbie, who's
35.
I was going to, I don't want to guess, but I'm like, she's at least 30.
Mm-hmm.
She looks good. Right. She's at least 30. Like you can't deny that. And Jacob Elordi's like not 30.
Yeah.
Like
28.
Very clearly not 30.
Yeah.
Like he was playing a high schooler like 2 years ago. It's like that kind of thing. So it's like that kind of feels like all choices that are like squandered, like weird.
So the way that came about is that they were filming. Emerald Fennell said in an interview that she was on the set of Saltburn, and he came out with like his sideburns, and she's like, "Oh my God, he looks just like Heathcliff." In my original copy that I read in high school, he looked like the illustrations that were in that, and that kind of just like catapulted her off. And she even texted him at some point when she like I guess finished the script, and she said, "Do you want to play Heathcliff? Not even want to. Do you wanna?" And he was like, "Okay." And then that took care of, that's all the thought that went into casting him. And Margot Robbie was a producer. She read the script and she's like, "Can I play Kathy?" And she had just had a baby. So she, if you know, like she just looks more womanly in this and she looks like an adult, but she's doing these really childish things. And I think that's like the first time I saw it, it took me like halfway into the movie to get into it. Because I was so thrown off. I was like, why is she's just too old to play this right now. Like it doesn't feel right. Like she does feel she's just too mature to be playing this really annoying character. And but in spite of that, I still came out of the movie loving it. So I don't know what to tell you.
I think another element, since we're, comparing it to the 39 version, we have the absence of Hindley.
Yes.
Fully removed as a character. And the only reference to ever having a brother is that when Kathy names Heathcliff, she says, "I'm going to name him Heathcliff after my dead brother." And then that adds I'm sure this is kind of in the book even, but it's like it adds a bit of an incest quality to it. Like it's already that they're being raised together
Absolutely.
by the same dad, but she's naming this guy after her dead brother, which she obviously had. It, who knows, what the situation there was. They don't get into it, but it's like you had some relationship to this dead brother, and now you're naming this guy after him and then wanting to be with him.
Side note, like, because I saw someone's overview of the whole story of the book. I want to point out this ain't the most incestuous thing that happens in the story.
No, no.
Yeah.
It's a weird dynamic that they really just, Emerald Fennell just was like, full stop. I'm going to call this on the poster, inspired by the greatest love story of all time. Man, in what world?
Yeah.
In what, like,
In what world
I
is...
don't know. And besides Bella in Twilight, I don't know who thinks this is the greatest love story, because I've never met anyone that said this was the greatest. So, but yeah, I do think she also kind of like plays around with that, because the first, like, Isabella starts talking about, like, when we first see them and we're introduced to Edgar and Isabella, she's talking about the plot of Romeo and Juliet, which I think people would argue that that is the greatest love story of all time. So it's, I don't know how they got away with, they really, there's marketing choices I don't get.
What's funny is to draw the line fully through it, is that having Emerald Fennell, having a character be so into the play Romeo and Juliet, which is obviously like a better love story, even if you want to say, oh, they're star-crossed lovers, that is like mirroring what Twilight did with Wuthering Heights, having Bella be in this kind of like, oh, this dark romance with a mysterious guy, and referencing Wuthering Heights as her favorite.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, is it? It's like every person like points to the thing that they want to be and then does something totally different.
Totally different. Absolutely. And it's so crazy. Like you said, before the movie, even before we get our first visual, we hear the audio and it clearly sounds like two people sleeping together. And then it's very obviously not. And you're just caught off guard from the beginning. And that goes throughout this whole movie. We're like, oh, why does everything feel uncomfortable? Like nothing feels like it should be. And I would like to share with you gentlemen the 3 different types of women who saw this movie.
Okay.
And I've been really paying attention to what people think of this movie, which is not necessarily something I like doing when I like a movie. I'm like, oh, I enjoyed it. I don't care what everyone else thinks. But I was really struggling with the fact that I liked this movie. So I wanted to know what other people thought. And there's 3 different types of women. The first one is the women who said this was not book accurate and they hated it and they were never going to like it. The second category is women like me who was like, oh, this is weird, but I'm obsessed. Okay. The third category is women who said it wasn't erotic enough. That is such a huge category. And they said there was no nudity in it.
Well,
it was not horny enough.
Yeah.
It was promised that it was going to be horny, and I didn't get any of it. And I'm like, really? You guys weren't? This didn't do it for you? You wish there was more? You wish there was there was the snails and the walls were sweating. You guys, this wasn't. You needed more.
I mean, Kathy had sex scenes with both men. Like it was truly like probably the most sex in a Wuthering Heights adaptation ever.
Certainly of the 3 I've seen.
Yeah, I can't imagine that other ones would go this far.
And again, it's crazy that that's what such a huge response has been, like very much equal to the people who hated it just because it wasn't like the book, or women that were like, I wish there was more. It wasn't dirty enough. I was promised that it was going to be super horny and it wasn't. What? You guys.
There was so many hands were put in mouths like this. Yes.
So here's the thing. Okay. So part of the thing for me, and I think the reason I found more to enjoy on the first viewing and kind of enjoyed for what it is for me is like I kind of liked, especially now that I've seen other versions. I kind of read up on it and looked into the actual without reading the book proper. So maybe I should do that when I'm in the mood to go through that journey. That
Ugh.
I I appreciate. I appreciate and even admire when a director was like, I have a very specific take on this. And funny enough, it's very appropriate because he's also in this movie, Del Toro's Frankenstein.
Right.
I think is a great example of a current one where it's like Guillermo, I am, but I'm also still doing my version of it, right? So it's like, yes, clearly Shelley's the DNA. I'm not an idiot, clearly, duh. But I'm adding and rearranging and putting my spin on things. And I even remember when he said that, like when I was writing dialogue that wasn't in the book, I was doing my best approximation of dialogue that sounds like Mary Shelley wrote it. And but also it's still very a Del Toro movie. And funny enough, also sharing Jacob Elordi, I also have a suspicion because Jacob has, and this is the thing I will say, side note, I went from not having a real opinion on Jacob Elordi. Like I was aware of him. I never really saw, Euphoria. I of course didn't see Saltburn. I kind of want to see the Priscilla movie.
Oh, that was interesting. Yeah.
Right. And he played
liked
Elvis in that,
He
right?
did play Elvis.
I mean,
yeah.
he wasn't like inspiring as Elvis in that.
I think it was truly like, because I don't remember the actress's name, but
Kaylee.
Yeah. She
Spain,
plays Priscilla. She's so short, and Jacob Elordi's so tall.
He's
he barely had to talk. Like it was just the idea of like he was an imposing figure. Like visually it worked so well.
Frankenstein.
Yes, that's why he's a great Frankenstein. That's why he's great. He's 6'5".
Yeah,
he's a giant.
Mm-hmm.
Like a side note, I also heard that he's one of the many men rumored for Bond, and I went, that's gonna be the tallest spy to ever exist.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine this lumbering man is gonna try to sneak his way through. Anyway, but
we'll have to shoot him shorter.
we have to hobbit him.
Yeah.
So anyway, I bring all that up because I went from not knowing anything about Jacob to watching him in Frankenstein, and I thought, oh, I really like him in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing him in here, and even though I know there's a lot of controversy, and I think we haven't even touched on it fully, we'll get there. I walked out with little knowledge and exposure to the story. I went, I liked him here too. I went from knowing nothing about Jacob to like, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why.
Do you, Justin?
Yes, I understand why Jacob Elordi is like, people like the guy or people want to use him. It's like he's got a 6 foot, an amazing presence, clearly, but also he can deliver in the right performance, in the right role. He can deliver something really interesting. Oh, I get it now. All right.
Oh, you're very respectful in that take. Women are not. This is not. There's a challenge on TikTok where women are asking their partners to do the Heathcliff challenge. Where they're like, "Can you grab my corset? Can you grab the front of my laces and pick me up, and then kiss me?" And then that's always people are falling down. And then it's okay. No, pretend we're standing in the rain. Put your hands over my eyes. Do this. And the guys are not getting it. Women are getting mad. It's a whole thing. And then it's the fingers of like, okay, I'm going to put my fingers in your mouth and like be hot about it. And all these guys are like, what? He's like, no, suck on them. Suck on my fingers. And these guys are like this?
I feel that is unfair to ask anyone to be Jacob Elordi unless you're 6'5" and gorgeous. That's not fair.
Also, but I would argue that Margot Robbie is the more attractive of the two.
That's fair.
Like,
also not wrong.
Don't even, like it's the two of them together being hot is I think that's like the main inspiration behind this movie. And I do think that if this movie was called something like Kathy and Heathcliff instead of Wuthering Heights, a lot of the vitriol behind this movie or attacking this movie would be gone.
You brought that up. I see you posted that online, and I immediately, I actually agree with that. That probably would have like softened the blow a smidge.
Right. Yes.
I do also
easier.
Movies like this are kind of funny to me because even some if you watch certain like older movie, like it's 50s, 60s.
Mm.
And it's like the two leads are two of the hottest actors of their time. It's like, Paul Newman or whoever, like, and it's like the plot of the movie is like, well, these two figure it out and get together. And it's like, I don't know, they're two of the hottest people of all time. I think they'll be fine.
To quote,
Like, I think they'll work it out.
Yeah.
to quote the bit in the 2023 Barbie movie, it's like, maybe you don't cast Margot Robbie in this part. While Margot Robbie
Right.
talks about, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not. And like, you have
No.
Helen Mirren say that out loud. Maybe you don't cast Margot Robbie in this role.
Right, that's a little hard to suspend disbelief here. We could do it for everything else. The walls are sweating. The walls have our veins. But
Side note, I
we need
mean,
to suspend disbelief.
like, I gotta say, like, when Edgar's like, I painted the wall of your skin color, I went, so why the veins though? The mole is also
And
too
she's
much,
sitting
but the
here-
vein is a little too much.
No. And she also is not like for a very vain person.
Yeah.
Kathy's not like she's not happy about it either. She like she's like touches the freckle on her face and she's like, oh really?
It's like,
Like
that's
weird.
You certainly did.
The whole
Okay.
this is again, it kind of gets into where I don't want to call it a grudge, but my grudge against this movie is that it felt like once we got to the Linton estate, once she got married to Edgar and they were hanging out with Isabella, it felt like she was doing kind of a Saltburn part 2. Like
Saltburn 1700s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like she had like some more. She was like, oh, I can do some more weird rich people stuff, and that's what they had, like a montage of that. And I was like, well, that doesn't really fit here. They make it work in the narrative, but I was like, what is I was so bothered by the fireplace with hands, ceramic hands on it. I was like, what is this? Is this like an art guy? Like, they never talk about it, but also doesn't fit.
Nope.
Oh, there's, the production design on this movie did bother me more than that. Wuthering Heights itself looked like a fake fantasy castle. Like, I was like, what even is this, like, black stone, like, imposing thing? It didn't even look real.
Mhm.
Like, it would make more sense in a fully, like, fantastical version of the story where it's, like, meant to be, like, obviously I think she is playing with, like, color and meaning and, like, the visual of, like, this house is so evil, it's dark, this brick, but it didn't even look real to me. It just looked, like, really weird.
I
Oh,
go ahead.
Justin, go ahead.
Go no, sorry. All right, got it.
I do think I like the hyper, like, this set. This clearly everything was a set.
Mm.
None of it was CGI. It felt like, and they really played into that with homage to Gone with the Wind, where Heathcliff's on his horse and he's going to this orange sunset. Like, that's very Rhett Butler at the end of Gone with the Wind.
Which is
And it's
hilarious.
very-
That's hilarious to bring up after we just talked about Vivian Lee. in
Yeah,
the
the
last-
Gone with the Wind connection. But also,
Crazy.
I think she's trying,
Also, like,
right? She's trying to capture the
an homage.
what is it? The romance book cover too.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Like, if she's calling this the
Yep.
greatest romance of all time, like, that's the visual of what's his name? That long-haired guy who
Fabio.
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 Fabio shirtless on a horse, with a woman. Like, that's the
Yep.
that's the visual of Jacob Elordi there. Yeah, yeah.
Fabio.
It's great. Like, and I have been really, like, deep diving into this because I'm so mad that I liked it so much. And I was like, I need to understand why was I into this? Please, like, tell me. And Emerald Fennells did say that in the Wuthering Heights set, that house had all odd numbers. So all, like, the panels on the wall and the panels on the floor, everything was an odd number. Everything felt like it was supposed to be closing in on them. And then at Thrushcross Grange, everything is perfect and beautiful, and, like, yes, it's wrong, and that's why I was like, oh, why do I like this? I don't think I should like this. This is so weird, but, like, I'm really obsessed with this and I want to live here. Like, put me in this world, inject it in my veins. Like, I bought the soundtrack on vinyl. I don't even know
Wow.
another Charlie XCX song other than this soundtrack, and I still was like, I need this vinyl. I'm gonna get it. I waited until I saw the movie again. And then right after I saw it again, I was like, okay, we'll go buy the vinyl now. Like, let me just make sure that I want to commit to liking this movie. And I bought it and I came home and I was like blasting it on their speakers.
That is a good
I'm like,
song.
oh, I love this.
I will,
This is so. She did the whole album.
but the
She
one
did the
main song is
whole-
like really good.
Oh, they're like, I think I'm gonna die in this house. Like,
Yeah.
It seems like
crazy business.
like it just seems like, and this is me kind of like assuming a little bit. It does seem like you really did like. It seemed like you like whatever ticket Emerald gave to you as a viewer, you were like, yeah, I'll take it. Like you weren't like you were hesitant for a little bit, and I think you kind of vibed with it enough that it's like, oh, I'm right. Which is why which is like why I was excited to have you on the show, because I saw you were very like this week. I saw you posting about like, oh no, I really liked it, and I liked it enough to be fascinated by it and appreciate it. I don't know if I love it, but I thought, oh, there's like I enjoyed my experience with this, but I also get that like I saw the rest of the reaction and I went, "Whoo, fascinating." That's why the whole thing, that was me the whole week. It was like fascinating, like Spock. I'm like, huh, this was this, but then Zoe's very passionately into it, and I found things to like, but also I'm like not the person to judge fully on how to feel about this negative in that regard, because this was not one of those stories I had a connection with, so I'm just going it off as like the first viewing. But I found interesting things in this movie that I really enjoyed, and like, yeah, I know like the set design was kind of off-putting for you, Andrew. I found it interesting, but I also agree that it's kind of almost it's also nonsensical. Like, doesn't really make a ton of sense. I guess right now I am a big fan of maximalist filmmaking at the moment.
Yes.
In the era of being subtle too much for so long, I kind of appreciate someone going for it. And doesn't necessarily mean that I think this was the correct approach, but I found this approach to be entertaining when I saw it.
100%. And it kind of does feel like a wave of this filmmaking, right? Because I feel like a lot of the same feeling for this is Poor Things with Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo.
Sure.
That was so just like otherworldly, felt like a fever dream of a fairy tale, like, and also very erotic and very just. My friend, who's a huge film buff, she pitched Poor Things to me as, this is for the weird Barbie girls. And I was like, oh, I wasn't a fan of the Barbie movie, but let me check this out. And I was like, this is my Barbie movie. This is this is how the inside of my brain looks. So like I think that's why like I was so drawn to this version of Wuthering Heights, because it did remind me a lot of how I felt watching Poor Things for the first time. And then we have The Bride coming up with Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley, and that also feels like it could exist in the same like, oh, this is like the weird girl retelling of this classic story.
I'm
And
excited
here
for The Bride.
it. Like,
it is,
what?
yeah.
So it feels like a really
Maggie Gyllenhaal
interesting
directing that one.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it just feels like a really interesting time of just like these weird interpretations of stories. And like Poor Things is also a book. So I don't know, I'm here for it. I don't want to defend it with my full chest because it's so problematic, but like the second Margot Robbie sat down on that bed and sat on those eggs, I was like, oh, I'm done. All right, just give it to me. I give in. Like that, my jaw fell open in the theater when she sat on that bed and heard the eggs crush. Oh my God, I just like, that did it for me. That was all the other things, whatever, that didn't make me feral. That was the moment that this movie won me over. And I just, okay, fine. You win, Emerald Medal.
I do want to point out another. You know what? Let's address the Heathcliff thing too. So
Let's go.
Okay. And we've addressed plenty of Heathcliff, but I feel like we do need to go into like, okay, it is 2026. Why are we still casting a white guy as Heathcliff? And yes, the answer, of course, was, from what I can extrapolate, it was almost, it almost comes off as Emerald's vision got into focus the moment she realized that Jacob looked like her childhood memory of Heathcliff. And from that point on, there was no other answer for her.
Yes.
For better or for worse, that's the truth of it, right? And I kind of understand that, like, artistically, if there's a thing that struck your brain, that's the reason it exists. Kind of hard to rewire that unless your inspiration for doing a new adaptation was to do something like this or that, right? if Emerald Fennell said, I have always envisioned of doing Wuthering Heights with a person of color, Heathcliff, but I also want to do this weird uber sexy take, then maybe it would have been that case. But it seems like she's been very vocal that Jacob was the reason, one of the big reasons why she went ahead with this. Even to the point where it sounded like Jacob was really close to like taking a break from acting because he was kind of like nonstop acting.
Oh, interesting.
And she said she offered him the Heathcliff with no audition, and like Zoe said, and he was like, "Oh fuck, all right."
Yeah, because if someone else who she just happened to be in the right place, she clearly, like, you're friends with Margot Robbie. She's produced your 2 previous movies, so the money is there, the access is there. So you want to tell your weird version of this story, you have all the resources, and you went with it. That's she had no like, I'm gonna do something profound for this generation. It was, no, I have money and I'm gonna do my weird thing. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I wish someone else also had the money and the resources to do it, but like, well, I guess okay.
But here's the thing.
Hopefully one day.
Hopefully, Jesus. But I will maybe a miniseries that might be the anyway.
Yes.
But one of the things that like I did think, because I was back and forth on that was my thing after I saw the film, was like my back and forth on Jacob, right? Because I admit it now, okay, I actually like him in the movie, but I understand every comment and every issue about not using a person of color in the role. And then I went back and forth on it because part of me was like, I 100% respect that, but also I also go back to this other thing that like a person of color should be allowed to play a terrible person on screen. You know, like it's sometimes there's a whole other issue of putting a person of color on a Hollywood film, and sometimes they are because people are afraid to do anything super negative with them, that they tend to like. That's initially why I thought like Shaz's casting was there for Edgar. It's like, oh well, he plays the safe person of color. He's not as problematic as Heathcliff, so that's fine. But then I'm like, yeah, but I'm also a little tired of seeing that happen a lot in casting. But also like I understand like there might be an issue of seeing a person of color do the things that Heathcliff does.
To Margot Robbie, who just played Barbie.
Yeah.
Who was who the epitome of like girlhood, womanhood, played Barbie like the perfect woman. So in her next project, do I want to see a person of color beating up Margot Robbie?
And Isabella.
And Isabella.
Yeah.
Oh, good Christ. Yeah. Can you imagine if Dev Patel had Isabella as his like sex slave? What? Making her bark like a dog?
Oh my God! Side on that.
That's crazy.
When that stuff with Isabella happened, again, like I can't believe both versions of Wuthering Heights made me verbally out loud, and it's both versions of Isabella's that made me verbally out loud said something about what the character did.
Yeah.
Like, remember, I said in 39 when Isabella was like, "I can't wait for Kathy to die," I went, "Holy shit!" Here, when Isabella seems like she's leaning in to the abuse, I also went, what the fuck?
Absolutely.
When then Nellie comes to visit, and then she's on her all fours and went, what the fuck?
This is definitely a movie where I said out loud in the theater, what the fuck, multiple times. Truly, I mean, for that theatrical experience alone, at least I kind of enjoyed. You gotta.
Yeah.
I enjoyed like being so shocked.
I added that to my positive experience,
but just everything else, I was like, come on, this is not it. I think there is that issue. I think they could have just been head on with it. I don't know. It's one of these things where I think it's also like over like decades, generations, there's like been the overcorrection of when you look at certain Disney villains in the animated films, they have traits, stereotypical homophobic traits, like traits of gay people that people hate. It's like they speak in a certain way, they walk in a certain way, they have these way of acting. So then it became the joke of, for a generation where it was like, oh, all the Disney villains, like Jafar is gay, like that kind of thing. Yep. But then we come around to it where then we embrace it. it's like, oh, that kind of trait is exciting and fun to portray. And then it comes back around to where, well, now we can't make the villain gay because then it's bad. But like you're saying, with a person of color, it could play a bad person. Like bad people are everywhere.
Well, like,
so
Right.
it's like we've come full circle, but we still haven't learned anything.
well, no, I always go back to this moment. Every time I think about this kind of conversation, I always go back to this moment back when Better Luck Tomorrow, Justin Lin's first film, right? It premiered at Sundance. It had a great response at the Sundance screening. And then I always remember that one of the most iconic moments of that screening was that, like, you know, as you're doing the Q&A, there was somebody in the audience who told Lynn and the cast and crew, and I think she was even a person of Asian descent, but I might be wrong. She was saying, "How dare you show us like this?" Because in the movie, it shows like honor roll students doing drugs and doing perpetuating crimes and etc., while hiding under the guise of being A+ students. You know, that's the whole point of Better Luck Tomorrow. Is like, it's almost the concept of the model Asian before everyone started saying that term, right? And she said, like, "How dare you do this? How dare you show us doing these things? How dare you show us being criminals like this? How dare you guys?" And like really trying to shame them for making that movie. And out of the woodwork, a man stood up, and it was Roger Ebert, who said, "How dare you tell them what they can't and can't show?" Asian people are allowed to show however the hell they want to be seen on screen. And how dare you tell them they are not allowed to do that? Keeping in mind, Roger is the one who, like, the quote that's been floating around for the last several years, even me, I pushed the quote again too, is him pointing out that movies can be treated as a empathy machine. It puts you in the place of another person, another race, another culture, another yada yada. The movies can do that for you. And if that's the case of, like, understanding the stress of being an Asian American honor roll kid, even in an extrapolated situation like at Better Luck Tomorrow, we are allowed to tell that story. And so, yes, and this is kind of where, like, the battle with Heathcliff is the left and right of my brain, where I totally agree with both angles. Do I want to see, especially right now, especially how people of color are being treated, do I want to see a person of color beat up a white woman or abuse a white woman? Yeah, probably not. I'm not going to lie. That's not really what I want to see, especially how a certain political angle is using that narrative to kind of make it bad for everyone. But then also
reinforcing this stereotype that's being heavily conveyed right now. And a huge movie, blockbuster with all these stars and money behind it, is that the narrative that I personally want to see on the big screen when I go to the movies. Yeah.
Also
100% struggle with that.
And also, those actors should be allowed. And that's where it's messy. That's what's confusing. That's where it's not easy. So yes, I 100% agree. A lot of it we get clearly Dev Patel. If you're going to
can you imagine? And I even looked up how tall he is. He's 35, so he's the same age as Margot Robbie, and he's 6'2". So he's
a tall guy.
Just give him a little boot lift, do a little Robert Downey Jr.
Was the 3 inches tall? Emerald, with the 3 inches that important?
Right. Or what's his name? Raul Coley.
Oh, I love
in all those Mike Flanagan projects.
Love Raul Coley.
Oh yeah.
He's 40 and he's 6'4".
Yeah.
He's 6'4", guys. Come on, he would have been so good.
Oh, Raul. Oh, you said the
I would
magic
love,
words.
please, I'm pitching a miniseries. Please put him, make him Heathcliff. I would love to see.
You just ruined my brain. I wish Raul Coley was an option.
And also, can you imagine a Mike Flanagan Wuthering Heights?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean, the ghosts would be the stars.
Oh.
It would just be all ghosts.
It would be like House of Haunted
Hill. In this one, it would just be all ghosts. Oh, please. That's what we need to even out the universe.
Take a break from
the
King.
Scales to be balanced.
Take a break from Stephen King and just jump back to Emily Brunt.
I do like the idea of Mike Flanagan. He just continues that Netflix miniseries with any story that has any ghost in it, and then he just makes it his version with extra ghosts.
Extra ghosty.
Yeah.
It's like all the same actors.
Yeah, and he eventually gets to Christmas Carol, and it's just everyone's ghosts. Like there's not a single person's alive in that story.
Goes to Christmas past, present at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Oh my god. Yeah, it's as I say, hashtag complicated, Andrew. So
I
Yes.
I kind of agree. I can't, when someone makes a movie, I mean, she's clearly making this movie from her perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I into that? No.
Sure.
Are other people into it? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I think, that's where it gets into movies are for people,
yeah.
so it's
Well, no, and
people are enjoying it.
for me, the thing why I kind of maybe find more on the enjoyment side is like I kind of had fun with seeing the way I very nicely put it, Emerald Fennell's fanfic version of Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's take. Not everyone not everyone wants to be into that, or it can't be into that. But I sort of appreciate it. Like, oh, I get that this is your version of it. I think there are things that are hurt now that I know the story a little bit better. I personally think maybe combining Hindley with Mr. Irwinshaw loses a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think that was a mistake. I wasn't really super into that.
I even thought they were going to give, it seemed like they were kind of giving some of Hindley's jealousy to Nellie.
Yes,
And
100%.
that
Yes.
didn't really have a payoff.
It
in a way.
didn't.
Yeah.
I kind of read that as like, maybe Nellie having, her own personal unrequired feelings for Catherine, because much like
Oh yeah.
Heathcliff, she was also at a young age, being with her all the time.
Mhm.
Jealousy of friendship, sure. Jealousy because she might be in love with her. I also kind of saw that. But of course, you're right. It never really, did anything with that.
And a lot of responses to people are really upset that Nellie was, one, made an Asian person, and two, a lot of people saw her as the villain in this movie.
She
And
pretty villainous, yeah. At a certain point.
and it's really interesting because some people argue like, no, you missed it. Like, that's not how she is. But going back to when Isabella's talking about Romeo and Juliet, she specifically says the nurse is the villain in this story because she didn't let them communicate. And hello, that's Nellie's role at the end of this movie.
It's very true.
They really sticking that there of like, why else would you say that specific take of Romeo and Juliet in this movie if you're not trying to foreshadow the ending? And Nellie doesn't have to be the villain in this story, but however, she is like a very unreliable narrator type of person. And I saw somebody online on TikTok, somebody said that the book is Nellie's point of view of what happened here. Like, she's sitting in this haunted house and she's like, 40 years ago, I've like watched these kids grow up and this is what went down. And now their kids are together and it's wild. This movie is more of Kathy's perception of what happened. And that kind of makes sense to me. Because even at the end, okay, let's talk about another big change that they made for this movie. So Heathcliff gets to Kathy before she dies in the 1939 movie. And it's very big and romantic. He didn't get to her at the end of this movie. And I don't understand why. I don't know why she made that change. I really don't see what the point is. Like, why couldn't he have been there before she died? Because that's how it was in the book, and that's how it's been like the 39 film. How come he couldn't be there? And she did like hallucinate and she thought Edgar was Heathcliff. So maybe like that was like how they're telling this story and how she got away with Heathcliff not getting there in time. But that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, why would you not have him be there and like her die in his arms? That feels like it would be so dramatic and theatrical and like still have people sobbing at the end of this movie, which I didn't. This movie didn't make me cry, but it made a lot of people cry, which is really interesting.
No, that's yeah, I agree. That's I
don't know why they changed the ending.
Yeah, that's
a weird little thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
For me, that was one of many weird little things.
The snails and the
the snails.
Everything else.
The giant strawberry.
That made me laugh.
Yeah,
only the fact that like it was a giant strawberry. So initially my reaction was that, is she eating like a giant strawberry? And then I thought, no, that's probably like a cake to look like a giant strawberry. But for a half second, I did think Are they that rich that they made a giant strawberry? No, that's a
They're
cake.
just
That's a
growing
cake, yeah.
monster hybrids.
It's cake.
The original Is It Cake?
Is yeah.
Yeah.
What a wild ride. Yeah, I don't know why I like it. I very begrudgingly like it. I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I like it, but it just really, it sat with me the whole week. I did my research, I watched the 39 film like the day after I saw it for the first time, so really struggled with it. But unfortunately, whatever she was putting down, I was picking up here, and I just have to let it go and
just let it be.
okay
Let
with
it
that
let it hit
Yep.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those adaptations where you can't accuse it of being nothing new.
Nothing New, a remake podcast, is part of the Benview Network. To hear our other podcasts, visit BenviewNetwork.com.
And don't forget about our Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can get access to bonus episodes.
Thanks for listening, and please follow us on Instagram at Nothing New Pod.
Or watch our episodes and bonus content on YouTube.